What's going on, guys and gals? Matty back again. Today we are crushing homemade cookies and talking about my favorite gear from 2020. Now, I'm sure like a lot of you guys and gals, every year I add new gear to my backpacking kit. My backpacking gear loadout is an ever-evolving thing, so I'm always adding gear and I'm always taking gear out of it, kind of trying to find the perfect mix and trying to find gear that I just absolutely love. I am a bit of a gearhead, so I do like, getting new gear and trying out new gear. And this year I added a bunch of new gear to my backpacking kit and I tested out a bunch of gear, and we're going to talk about some of the gear that I tried out in 2020 that has become some of my favorite gear now. Can't forget the coffee either. The first piece of gear we're going to talk about today was not a massive change from my backpacking gear that I was using in 2019, but I did change my cook pot going into 2020. For the last couple years, I've been using pretty small cook pots for my backpacking loadout. In 2019, I was using a 650 ml pot. In 2020, I made the move to a 550 ml pot. I went with the Toaks 550 light titanium pot. Going this route helped me get my entire cook system down to under 5 ounces for 2020. That includes my spork and my stove and my windscreen and my lighter. If you guys want to see a full in-depth review of my entire cook system I went with in 2020, I'll put a link up in the cards over here for you guys. But I went with a Toaks 550 light titanium pot, and I was absolutely in love with this pot. I kind of changed up the way that I did my cooking a little bit for 2020, primarily with my breakfasts. I used to carry a cook pot and a small mug with me. I used to carry one of those GSI backpacker mugs, but I made the change away from carrying the extra mug, and all I was doing was basically eating bars or Pop-Tarts for breakfast. And I was just drinking my coffee or my hot chocolate directly out of my cook pot. I wasn't really sure how the system was going to work out for me when I first started it, but I committed to it this year, and I'm going to keep going with that going forward. For me, it's the perfect size pot. I can boil my 2 cups of water for my dehydrated meals, no problem at all. And yeah, I absolutely love this freaking cook pot. Need another cookie. Segue off of my cook pot, I made 2 other pretty significant changes to my food system for 2020. I ended up adding 2 new food bags to my backpacking gear loadout. My mom grabbed me an Ursack Major XL, which I absolutely love. Now, if you guys know, a lot of the areas that I backpack in do not have food storage, and I hike in prime grizzly territory almost 100% of the time. So having the Ursack makes things so easy. I'm not hunting for trees to try and hang my food. And a lot of the areas that we have here in Alberta, especially up in the Alpine, it is not easy at all to find the right tree to hang your food. So being able to just tie my food to a tree with the Ursack has been a huge help. And my good buddy Evan over at Chef Heaven Outdoors was gracious enough to pick me up one of these Hilltop Packs Dyneema food bags. I've got a full video on the Hilltop Packs bag, and I'll link that up in the cards here for you guys. But I haven't actually been using this as a food bag. What I've been using the Hilltop Packs bag for is actually as my clothes bag. Now, this is a full Dyneema bag. It weighs just over 2 ounces. It's waterproof. This thing is absolutely wicked. Obviously, it's got the Matty Outdoors logo on it, so I kind of love it a little bit more. But yeah, I've got the Hilltop Packs bag and the Ursack Major XL. They're both very welcome additions to my 2020 gear loadout, and I absolutely love both of these pieces of gear. Another pretty significant change I made on my 2020 backpacking gear loadouts was my shelter systems. Now, you guys may be aware, prior to 2020, for my ground sleeping situation, I was using an MSR Hubba Hubba NX, and I absolutely love that tent. I've been an MSR Hubba Hubba user for years and years. I had one of the original Hubba Hubbas, like the ugly green ones, and then I made a switch over to the NX when they went to those. And this year in 2020, I made the switch to a trekking pole tent. I made the switch to this guy here. This is my 3FUL leaning tower, or it kind of gets affectionately called the Lanchan 1.5. Now, if you guys are aware of the 3FUL Lanchan tents, like the Lanchan 1 and the Lanchan 2, this is kind of right in the between the two. It uses 1 trekking pole, and I've got a full review video, and I'll pop up over here for you guys if you want to check that out. So this is basically the tent that I have been using for any ground sleeping situations. A lot of the areas that I go, I do take my hammock, but there are times when I'm camping up in the Alpine, or there are some trail restrictions we have here up in Canada where some trails just simply don't allow hammocks. So for those situations, I am taking my 3FUL Lanchan tent with me, and I've absolutely loved it. I mean, obviously, I would much prefer sleeping in a hammock, but for a situation where I can't take a hammock with me, having this tent here shaved a ton of weight out of my pack. It's just over 2 pounds, very quick and easy to set up, very sturdy, extremely well made. And I've got to add that the Lanchan tents are probably one of the best bang for your buck budget tents out there on the market. So if you guys are looking for like a budget, lightweight tent option, definitely check out the 3F UL Lanshan Series tents. Now we can't do a favorite gear 2020 video without including this girl here. Wanda got some new gear in 2020. Our favorite piece of gear that Wanda got in 2020 was her Mountainsmith K9 Pack. Now previously we were using a Roughwear Approach Pack, and we made the switch to the Mountainsmith K9 Pack for a couple different reasons. Primarily the fit on this pack, and it's got a little bit more ventilation, and it's a little bit more robust and rugged than the previous Roughwear pack we were using. Really can't say enough good things about the Mountainsmith pack, but if you guys want to check out our full review on the Mountainsmith K9 pack that Wanda's been using, I'll pop up in the cards over here for you guys. And now the moment you guys have really been waiting for, we're going to talk about my favorite piece of gear that I added to my kit in 2020. And this will probably come as absolutely no surprise to anybody. I'm going to talk a little bit about my Dream Hammock Raven. I got to start this out by saying that Randy and Deanna and the folks over at Dream Hammock, their reputation for being one of the best hammock manufacturers out there on the market today is not overstated by any means. This hammock is absolutely out of this world in terms of quality and comfort. Now, when I started talking to Randy and Deanna about getting a hammock from them, there were a couple things that I wanted, and I wanted a hammock with a fully removable bug net, and I was also really interested in getting a hammock that is symmetrical so that there's no set lay angle in the hammock, so I can put my head to the left or my head off to the right depending on which way I want to lay, or if I want to let somebody try out a hammock. Not everybody likes laying the same way in a hammock. Some people like laying with their head to the left, some people like laying with their head to the right. So having a hammock that can incorporate both was just kind of a win-win for me. In my previous video where I did my best gear from 2019, my favorite piece of gear from 2019 was my Cave Creek Pet Palace. When I'm rocking my Cave Creek Pet Palace with my girl Wanda, taking my Dream Hammock Raven and being able to take the integrated bug net off and leave the bug net at home saves me 6 ounces of weight out of my backpacking kit, plus combined with the 1.3 fabric that this hammock is made with, saved me a bunch of weight over my previous hammock, my Little Shop of Hammocks Warrior. I cannot overstate the quality and the comfort of this hammock. If you guys have not picked up a Dream Hammock yet, you guys are doing yourself a disservice. I guarantee you I will have more Dream Hammocks in the future. I cannot say enough good things about my Dream Hammock Raven. And yes, there will be a full video review on this hammock coming. When that video is done, I will have it popped up in the cards over here if you guys want to check that out. But yeah, my favorite piece of gear from 2020 was my Dream Hammock Raven. I am absolutely in love with this hammock, and I can't say enough good things about my Raven hammock. As we talk about my favorite backpacking gear from 2020, one of the big things for me when it comes to backpacking and backpacking gear is finding ways that I can cut unnecessary weight out of my backpacking kit and drive my base weight down to provide myself a little bit more comfort when I'm out there on the trails. And if you guys are into that kind of stuff too, I've got a video playlist I'll pop up right over here for you guys full of weight-saving backpacking tips. So when you guys are done watching this one, head on over, find a video in the playlist, check one of those out. As always, guys, I am Matty. Thank you guys so dang much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.